Well, hello, and thank you for joining me for another Alex on Tech and Tech Advice.life video interview. I'm joined today by Allard Rustenhoven. He's Nextbase's Head of European and Australian PR and Communications. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Yeah, thank you for taking the time. Now, Allard, for those who are new to Nextbase, can you please give us a recap on the Nextbase story and why its founders decided to focus on driver safety?
Yeah, sure, Alex. Thanks. Nextbase has been founded about 25 years ago. We started as a rear seat entertainment company. So we did OEM DVD screens for brands like Audi and Volkswagen. But with the kind of surgence of the iPad, obviously that business took a bit of a hit. And simultaneously, our management or the starters of the company were in China, and that's where they spotted the first kind of dashcam variants. But those were very kind of what is it? Screens, bells and whistles, a lot of noises, a lot of lights, a lot of distraction from actually driving. And that's when our management at the time thought, well, we can do this better. We can do this for the Western market, and that's kind of the start of our dashcam business, and actually the entire dashcam business in Europe at the time.
Now, dash cams are great for any driver, whether they've been driving for years or they're a teenager with their first car, which obviously would make parents sort of much happier knowing that their kids are having the
Yeah,
dash cam there, but also they can be seeing how their kids are driving. It probably makes the kids drive in a smarter and better way as well. But with the massive technological advances of just the past decade, what is Nextbase's message on why dash cams are more important than ever?
well, we've been seeing a lot of surges in car accidents. For instance, a very impressive stat from Australia is that a car is being stolen every 11 minutes in Australia. So there's a real need for protecting your vehicle. And with that, something we always say is you protect your house with cameras, with alarms, with all sorts of protection devices. But your second most expensive asset, the car, is you just rely on the factory's protection. And from our point of view, that lacks a lot. And especially if you look at the car or the vehicle market, I drive a 10-year-old car, for instance. So if I would want access to the latest technology in car manufacturers, I would have to buy a brand new vehicle, which is expensive. Um, with Nextbase, we try to give everybody access to this latest technology, especially with our latest IQ, but also with the Pico right now.
Now, before we learn about the range and do a live unboxing of the Nextbase Pico, which you've sent me, can you share any examples of when dash cams have helped you or your customers avoid fines or scams? And I mean, I've got an example too.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'll go first. What we're seeing, especially in the UK and in the US right now, is a surge of fraud, so insurance fraud, where you're driving on the road, you're stopped at a traffic light, somebody puts the car in reverse and hits you twice, three times. People get out of the vehicle. There's also all sorts of expensive stuff. People have MacBooks and iPhones, and everything is broken. And they'll try to get that from insurance. So having video of that actually not being the case, but it being a fraudulent event, is a great way to protect not only yourself and your vehicle, but also your insurance fee, basically. And secondly, what we always say to our customers, we actually hope you never have to use the dashcam footage, because that means you're never in an accident. But if it bangs and there's no evidence, having a video of what happened could protect your damage-free bonus, for instance, which could save you thousands of dollars a year. So buying a dash cam, a Nextbase dash cam in our case, is an extra piece of insurance. And with that, it also helps you drive more secure, knowing there's a camera there. For me, how I personally experience it is it's peace of mind. I know whenever I would be in an accident, I can focus on myself, whoever else is in the car. I don't have to go out and look for what kind of vehicle is it, who's the other party involved. We've recently done a research in Czechia, if I believe that well, where we found that about 68% of all people could not remember the make of the other vehicle, the color of the other vehicle, or even the license. Remember, the license plate is a bit further, but a lot of the essential details people could not remember because of the impact of the accident. So having that peace of mind, knowing you don't have to go out and look at the situation. You can just focus on yourself, on the other people in the vehicle, your family in most cases. That to me is a massive advantage.
Yeah, well, the examples that I have, I was a passenger in a taxi. I was just getting in, and I think he had a dash cam there, and so I was asking him about it. This would have been a few years ago, and he was telling me the story that he was parked on the side of the road, and actually in this case, some police came up to him and tried to tell him that he was parked in the wrong area, and they wanted to give him a fine. And he said, "But I have a dash cam, recording." And they said, "Oh, sorry." So they moved on. So I don't know what was going on there, but those sort of things can happen. And then I've got some friends who have a camera system where they've got a camera in the front, and they also had a camera in the back. I mean, normally people don't have cameras in the back, but in this case, they did. And they were exiting one of the giant shopping malls, and all of a sudden somebody hit them in the back. And this young, I think it was a learner driver, and sort of the driver came out and the father came out, and they were trying to somehow claim that the person in front had somehow reversed, or some whatever the story was. It was just blatantly, they were trying to scam them.
Yeah.
And when they said, "Well, we have the footage," and they sent them the footage, and you could clearly see that the young driver had sort of made a mistake, and they, this particular family was trying to avoid liability. Well, they immediately stopped their attempt at trying to snivel out of it, because the video proved everything you need to know. And I mean, one of the things you've got also is systems that have front and back cameras. And I mean, the rear dash cam must be, a growing market, whether people are adding a front cam to the back, or they're buying a system that has the two. When did you start selling systems that had both the front and back cameras?
So we started with front, back, or cabin view. That's a third option. We started that with our Series 2 that is still available right now in Australia or across the globe. And that was about 6 years ago. But our first, and this is an interesting one, which is called, it's not available anymore, but that was also my first dashcam. That was the Nextbase Duo. This one was part of the Series 1 series, which ran for the 10 years before Series 2, if that makes sense. And that had a small camera that you could turn to the inside of the vehicle, where you could kind of find your sweet spot. And that was our first kind of front and rear dash cam. Right now, with our Series 2, we offer rear view or cabin view as modules. So you buy your base front-facing camera, and that camera can be expanded with either two modules that you directly insert into the side of the dash cam, which is a cabin view, which is used a lot by taxis and shared drivers and all sorts of kind of people carriers, if that makes sense. And there's two rear view options. One of them is a zoom, which goes from the dashcam straight out of the back window, or for what we are always say that the best option is a rear window camera, which you stick to the rear window, cable to the front camera, which gives you picture in picture, so real-time picture in picture image of what happens front and rear during an incident. Right now, flash forward to today, we just launched Piqo, but we've also recently, a month ago, launched Nextbase IQ, which is our top model in Australia. That is standardly equipped with front-facing 1K or 4K and a infrared cabin view camera, expandable also with a rear view camera. But the camera, the the cabin view camera is standard in that product. So basically what you will see in the app is a 2-channel or 3-channel feed into your vehicle and outside the vehicle.
Now I have the Nextbase Piqo with me. This is the 2K version. There's a 1K version as well at a
Correct.
even more affordable price. And this is dubbed the small and mighty dash cam. So let's quickly unbox it. And whilst I'm doing that, you can tell us about some of the features and benefits of this. I mean, when was this launched? Just recently?
Just yet, yeah. Start of this month.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the short version? Whilst I'm just pulling this out here, and on the back we can see that it's got the picture of the phone with the app, and I can see that there as well. But just tell us. I mean, it's all on the site, but tell us briefly about it.
Yeah. So small and mighty, and also affordable. So we've looked at obviously, and we've done IQ, which is a super kind of a very high tech product, but also a one in the top range of pricing, obviously. Mm-hmm. This has been designed for a younger target audience. Main things: easy setup, small and discreet. So if you hold it up, you can tell. I've got one here. It's a very, very small product. If you kind of compare it to my iPod case, you can tell the size of it. So we've been really looking at a very discreet and small form factor, but still wanted to incorporate all of the dashcam basics. So that will be GPS, Wi-Fi connection to your phone, parking sensor obviously incorporated. But we've also looked at installation. So how to install your dashcam. I'm not sure if in the box is a very small tool. I'm not sure.
Well, let me just go through. Blue. Yeah, because I watched the installation video on the website. I mean, it said you can do it in 5 minutes, and so I have the cable that it comes with. In this case, I've got the little tools to clean your windscreen. There's there's a little logo here. You can see it's back to front Nextbase. There's another one here that says Road Safety Club. I was going to ask you about the Drivers Club in a moment as well. Then we have this little tool, which, as I saw in the video, it was used to push the cable up into the section between the windscreen and the the roof, and it was your headliner cable. So you don't have a cable there. Now in this case, you have actually included for me an SD card. This is the Nextbase SD card, but normally this is a separate purchase. But just tell me again, why is it important to get whether it's the Nextbase branded card or another brand of card, which is called a high quality, or the HC card, I think it's called. But just tell us why is it important to get a modern SD card for your camera as opposed to just fishing one out of the drawer that you may have used with a camera a few years ago?
Yeah, so obviously a lot has changed on how SD cards are used. I can remember customers back in the day calling us and saying, "Well, I found a nice SD card in the attic from an old camera," and we're like, "Oof, that's not going to work." A reason for that is that a dashcam records in loops, so it is actually always recording, but it's also always deleting video. So what the card obviously does is it records in loops, it deletes in loops. Anything that gets triggered by the G sensor in the camera or by the emergency button on the camera gets stored in a separate file. But this is a lot of activity for a card this size. Hence, you should look for industrial grade or the highest grade cards. We offer our cards, and obviously we know our cards are tested with our product, so we know they work well. But it is all about getting enough writing power for the card to process what we're doing. If you have a front and rear camera, you're looking at doing that twice. So you're looking at something recording real time front and rear, but also deleting front and rear. With our cameras, so that would be with the IQ, for instance, you might be recording 8 high definition and low definition for your phone. So you can imagine an SD card from the 90s from an old camera not going to work in this case.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I've seen different brands that specifically are designed for this high volume recording. So yeah, either get yourself a Nextbase card or make sure it's a card that is definitely suited for that. Now, yeah, so here's the Piqo itself. It's in the case. I've just got to unpeel the little plastic side here, and just to also confirm. I mean, I have some AirPods here too in a little case, and yeah, this is definitely Piqo, which is great, and I can see the camera is, well, there's a camera there, and there's a camera there, so this is obviously allowing you to do camera recording as well.
No, the inside, it might look like a camera, but it is actually
it's the button. It's a button, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah. Just looking at it, look.
So, well, I'm happy to touch on this because we don't want to make false promises. But
of course,
there's no camera on the inside.
Okay, yeah, no, that's fine. Well, look, I mean, this is just sort of me looking at it, and I mean, these days I should be wearing reading glasses to look up close. But when you put the glasses on, when you're on Zoom, then you get to see all the lights.
I get the same. Yeah, you look a bit weird.
Yeah, that's it. Well, you have these flashing lights, yeah. But you just peel that off, and obviously once you've cleaned, and I will link to the page that has the video. But tell me about the Drivers Club in brief as well. You also have a Drivers Club.
First, quickly on the mount.
Yep.
Well, quickly on the mount. Yeah, you just showed it. Mm-hmm. If you look closely, you can detach this little part. So the little sticky pad, you can detach it.
Right.
By sliding it upwards.
Upwards.
So yeah.
There we go.
So this would mean So this is obviously for easy installation. So you can find your desired position, install this. But this also means that you could easily switch vehicles. We provide these as well. You can switch vehicles, or if you change vehicles, for some reason your old vehicle is out of date. You want something new. You can change vehicles by easily swapping that one out. We supply an extra one. If you look into the box, we supply an extra one in the box.
Yeah,
so that you're covered. Yeah, so that you are. Yeah, correct. So that you're covered for at least the next two vehicles that you'll be owning.
Sure.
So, if you're switching vehicles a lot, we should probably send you a few. But that is again one of the. It's these small things, I think, that we like to think about when you purchase a dashcam from us. Like, okay, what can we kind of do to help you out beyond your first vehicle, for instance? So these are the small things that we also look at Nextbase.
Yeah, and as I was saying with that video, I mean, it really is a 5-minute process, and of course, setting up the app, you download it, you pair it to your device, and you're ready to go.
Correct. And then your question on Drivers Club. This is so with Piqo, but also with future products, we are going to obviously look at starting more of a community feel with our users. Piqo is also designed to share video. What we've seen is that people use this product, for insurance benefits, to send video to the police, but there's also a lot of stuff happening that you just might send to a friend. Or that you would want to post on socials, something we see a lot these days.
Yeah.
So our Drivers Club is going to support those users that are happy to share video, and in the future we'll be looking at adding benefits to that Drivers Club, where, for instance, users can look at tailor-made kind of skins for videos, or that's the type of stuff that we'll be looking at. So that's coming.
Now, I noticed that you've got the nextbase.au site, and for everyone watching, that's .au, not .com.au, which takes you to a different company, nothing to do with Dashcams. And obviously, you have a range of Dashcams there available. Now, AI, of course, is the craze that has taken over the world in the past couple of years with the generative AI. Finally, ChatGPT is 2 years old as we know it. I mean, it's funny to think that ChatGPT was around even before then. And you mentioned the Nextbase IQ, which I guess is your top-of-the-line model. So how is AI incorporated into that model? And is there any AI in this model or not?
No, not in the Pico. It is in IQ. Obviously, you need a lot of computing power to get that going
Yeah, I mean, you don't
at the
need
price of.
AI in this particular one because it's a front-facing camera, and I mean, one of the things we
Yeah.
didn't mention was the fact that you can, if you, well, I mean, we'll talk about it in a moment, but there's like the parking and all the rest. But just sorry, tell us about the AI for those who do want to get the Nextbase IQ model.
Yeah, so the AI part in Nextbase IQ is able to predict an incident happening. So, for instance, when the car is parked, radar and AI technology spot a person coming up to your vehicle before it actually touches your vehicle. So, how a dashcam today works, the dashcam is mounted in your vehicle. We'll just take parking as an example. The dashcam is mounted in your vehicle. There's a G sensor in the dashcam. Somebody hits your vehicle. The dashcam powers up, starts filming. How Nextbase IQ works is I'm at home, my vehicle's parked here in the street. Somebody comes close to my vehicle. I can set the perimeter, which is a meter to five to 10 meters, I think. Somebody comes close within a meter of my vehicle. I get a notification on my phone saying somebody is close to your vehicle. At that point, the dashcam starts recording. So if that person would hit my vehicle, you would get the full incident. But not only that, I would be able to live view that full incident. And if it's a potential break-in, I could, for instance, call the police. Or if I see something else happening that deserves attention, I could act on it. So what AI does for us is I've always said like to about our the Series 2 dash cams or Pico. These are great for collecting evidence. With IQ, you're able to prevent certain situations or at least act on them. So it's a real time dash cam. That's what AI is able to do for us in IQ. So yeah, super exciting. We just launched it at Harvey Norman, massively at Harvey Norman. Big deals happening also over Black Friday. So if people are interested, have a go and look at Harvey Norman right now because we're doing a massive deal with I think a free rear camera and a $200 off. But yeah, those are it's a different type of product. But if we then move from IQ to Pico, we were still able to incorporate several of the key features from IQ into Pico. So, for instance, emergency SOS, your eCall system, is incorporated in Pico and the app. So, yeah, we've tried to take some of the non-AI features and put them into Pico to make this, yeah, really small but very mighty. With that is also Guardian mode and Witness mode are incorporated in Pico. Witness mode is a feature where you are driving in your vehicle. You don't feel safe. Your example with the police, for instance. You're being stopped and you feel like this is going to go the wrong way or road rage is happening. At that point, you can start witness mode, and an emergency contact will receive a text message with, well, your call for help, but also your GPS location to be able to help you in that situation. Simultaneously, the video is also directly stored into the safe part of your SD card.
Yeah.
And then secondly, there's Guardian mode, which helps you prevent or at least track activity with your vehicle when you are not the driver yourself. So I lent my car to my kid, for instance. I set the speed limiter to 50 kilometers an hour, for instance, or 80 or 100, whatever you like. And I can also set a geofence around my city, for instance, or my country, whatever you're into. If those parameters are being surpassed, so your kid drives 110 instead of 100, as soon as you get back into the vehicle and Guardian mode is activated, you will get a notification saying there's a video waiting for you, which you might not like. This goes for your car mechanic as well. So it's known that car mechanics tend to drive quickly. Valet services at airports, which tend to, at least here in the Netherlands, tend to drive very fast with your vehicle, or park them somewhere kilometers away from the airport to get some cash out of it. So there's a lot of situations where that feature is able to help you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, the camera itself can be purchased with no ongoing costs, but I noticed that you also have I think in Australia it's $4.99 a month. So
Correct.
for that subscription service, what does that deliver to the people that choose to take it up?
Yeah, so the features I just mentioned, all included, parking mode, GPS, Wi-Fi, all in there. That is mainly for emergency SOS. There's an integrator between us and the actual emergency services, and not everybody is able to tap into the emergency services, as you can imagine. So there's certified companies that offer this service. So there's a subscription cost for that service in there. There's also 180-day cloud storage included in that instead of 30. And there is extended warranty in there as well, I think with an extra 2 years down under. So I always say, like, the product is 90% or 99% where it should be, but there's a small payment needed to those integrators to get that service up and running, and it's a 24-hour service, as you can imagine. So yeah.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. And obviously, people can buy any of the Nextbase dash cams from the nextbase.au site. And I did a search. I can see they're
Correct.
available at all of the expected retail locations, from
Yeah.
electronics and home tech stores through to the auto stores.
Yeah.
But obviously, you've got a great deal at Harvey Norman on the Nextbase IQ. But what is just remind us again what the Piqo starts at for the 1K and the 2K, just so that people know what to expect.
Yeah, the 1K is available at $199, the 2K at $299, and then the subscription is $499 a month or $49.99 a year, which saves you 2 years. Sorry, 2 months.
Yeah.
2 years would be fun. Which saves you 2 months. So yeah, those are the starting prices of Piqo right now.
Yeah, well, it just makes life so much easier. And in fact, I think from memory, I mean, the app has the GPS inside. I mean, I've seen some sort of non-connected dash cams give you a speed readout, the amount of the Ks or the miles per hour that you're going. So just tell us briefly what you can have on the app if you choose to have the app open at the same time. So a lot of people have their phones in a cradle. Are you using that for navigation, or are you just using your normal Apple Maps or Google Maps or Waze?
I tend to use the my normal Apple CarPlay kind of Waze, because Waze in the Netherlands gives you speed cameras as well.
Yeah.
Which is and we have a lot of these track controls, so you're tracked over whatever 10 kilometers. What you would be able to see in terms of data in the app is your speed, your Google Map, your own location, but obviously not a navigation function in there. That's not our business. But also G-force. So these data, that's what, and it's a bit of a weird name, but this is what, for instance, the police in the UK calls a golden package, is yes video. But GPS data, like your exact speed, GPS location, and for instance G-force, are a big part of explaining what happened in an incident. That somebody not braking at all could allude to somebody being distracted by being on their phone, or these are all assumptions. But if you have braked very strongly, then they can exclude that you have been distracted, for instance. So the more data, the more information you can hand over to an insurance company or the police, the better they can resolve that case, but also the quicker they can resolve that case. And I think this is something, if you're talking peace of mind as well, this is what we always also say. I'm well insured, so if I have an accident tomorrow and it's my fault, I would still give up the video, because it would clear that case. No more paperwork. I would just give up the video, saying, "Look, I'm full insured. This was actually my fault. here's the video. Let's please resolve this quickly and in an easy manner. So there's a lot of data that supports your case, or at least supports the truth of what happened in an incident.
Yeah. I mean, one of the competitors has this slogan on radio, which I think is very clever. It says, "Protect your version of events on the road." And that's so important these days, because people make up all sorts of stuff. But when you've got a video, it's hard to argue against that.
Correct. And another point with this is, brand new cars right now are equipped with cameras. So we see a trend where people with older, like myself, older vehicles are looking at these vehicles and thinking, hey, am I being recorded, or am I being, whenever I will be in an accident, I'd like my own version of evidence, because there's videos are tamper free. We can see when somebody has tampered with a video. That is very clear, that you can see it in the data. But still, I think if the norm is to collect evidence, the more evidence there is, the more the truth comes to light. So take your part in collecting evidence. I think that is the top tip of today, basically.
Yeah. Now, without giving me your final message, because I'll ask you about that shortly, is there anything else that we've missed talking about with Nextbase?
Exciting times coming up for us in Australia. I'm not sure if you've noticed, but we partner with Dave Reynolds as well, down under, the supercar V8 driver. I've been lucky to see him to fly over to Australia a few times and see him live, and an absolute legend of a guy, by the way. So that is something to look out for down under. And I think, if you look at us as a brand, we're marching forward right now with brand new technology and trying to bring as much kind of formats and platforms to the market. We now have a dashcam for every type of user. So we have Piqo without a screen, IQ, Hero product, AI supported, super smart product without a screen. We have a line of products with a screen, 4K model like the 622. I'd like to finalize with go to our website and find your Nextbase.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, as we get towards the end of the interview, I always like to ask, can you please share a memory of your first personal computer?
Does a Sega count?
It does, I guess.
The console.
A lot of people use their first computer to play games.
Yeah, that was the first one, and after that, I started. My brother and I started to nag, obviously, at home, because we wanted to play, I think, Counter-Strike back in the day, and we wanted to, we needed new graphic cards, and back in the day, you would go to a shop and buy yourself a new graphic card, and we would go back to the shop and buy a new stereo for the computer, and my parents would go nuts because of all the shooting, because there was this, it felt like a war zone in the bedroom. Those days I was just talking about this to somebody yesterday when we were really young, how weird it was that we were playing these super violent games at 10 years old. It was, it's unparalleled today. There's this advisory kind of 16 or 18 years old. Back in the day, you'd download a game and you just play it. We were talking about that yesterday. Yeah. And then my first real computer, I think it was my first private computer, must have been sort of a startup laptop, maybe an HP of some sort, I think. That I started studying on and doing my first kind of. These days, I'm an Apple fanboy, guilty as charged. But
me too.
It's a little bit my course through computer land.
Yeah, that's it. Well, I've converted a number of people across over to Apple. I never have to deal with weird pop-ups or a million different browser toolbars or malware. Usually, if they're having a problem, you just ask them to apply the latest update, which they haven't done, and suddenly the problem is gone. No. So it makes life much easier.
Yeah.
Now, you did mention before
also guilty as charged.
Yeah, that's it. Now, you mentioned before your first dashcam was the Nextbase Duo, which is not for sale anymore. Yeah. But How the software or the integration must have changed quite a lot since that time. I mean, you're at the forefront of it.
Yeah, yeah. So that was a great product, but well, to start off with, what you would have to do if something happened, you would have to take out the SD card, go to your computer, start up the software, which you obviously still supply. So this is important part though, by the way, because having still reviewing footage on your computer does bring a lot more detail. Obviously, you can see a lot on your phone screen, but going to your computer, being able to zoom in different ways, it still makes a lot of sense. If you're really after with a 4K camera, you can imagine how much detail you can see all across the video. So, but yeah, that was a different experience. You would go to your computer, replay the video, compress it into an email, send it to your insurance company. Right now, obviously, you open the video on your app. You've got your insurance contact kind of set by default, forward to my insurance company, and done with it. So the essence of the product, why have a dash cam? Still the same. The ease of use has just gone from a lot of kind of manual happenings until just a 2 or 3 click, send
Yeah.
it off to your insurance company or to a friend or socials, and it's shared to wherever you like it. So that is completely different from back in the day.
Yeah, and as I was doing some, looking for some videos that were from the YouTube channel for the Nextbase YouTube page, I did see a number of other videos on the side from other channels of interesting things that I've caught on their dash cam. So sharing your video to social has become quite a thing, and it's amazing some of the
Yeah,
things you see that people try and get away with. And one of the videos on your site on your page was about people who were trying to do a scam and
yeah.
crash in. And I mean, that clearly in this, with ever more frauds and scams out there, people are desperate to try and make money in all sorts of weird ways.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So there's a massive case right now going on in the US, or a big viral video. I think it's been watched millions and millions of times, where exactly that has happened. Somebody backs into a vehicle twice or 3 times. And this is a criminal offense, by the way. It's not just damage. This is a criminal offense that, for instance, in the US can lead, pardon me, to serious jail time. So yeah, these situations, and this is what we've been seeing as well. The situations are getting weirder and weirder. I don't have the numbers in front of me right now, but in Australia, I think insurance cost is on the rise as well. So we're seeing a lot more people being uninsured on the roads. When something happens, those are the first to leave the scene, obviously, because, well, and they would probably need to pay big fines or damages. Um, so there's a lot going on where situations are getting a bit more weirder than just your till nose accident, which is very unfortunate, but that is part of driving. There is kind of deliberate scams in play these days, where like to urge people to protect themselves against.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just coming to a point where it's not safe to drive a car without one of these dash cams. That's what it comes down to.
I am, I am. So Russia is, and this is not a great example today, but I am gonna Russia today. I think you cannot insure a new vehicle without having a camera installed in the vehicle. And I wouldn't be surprised if we'd be looking at a similar situation here in Europe, in the US, in Australia as well, where either you would get a big discount on your insurance premium, or you're being urged to get a dash cam, or you're being motivated to get a dash cam, simply because of the fact that the cost of a vehicle these days and a vehicle repair is same to change to 10 years ago. You would have a bumper, which is a piece of plastic. Right now, my bumper on a 10-year-old car is equipped with few sensors, with the kind of smart cruise control thing. That bumper is a few $1,000s.
Yeah.
So hey, calculate where the money is going to cover those damages. The insurance goes up, that is inevitable. So there's a real reason to start using dash cams ASAP.
I'm just thinking of the idea that maybe you should approach a few of the insurance companies to say, hey, let's do a deal. The if a new driver takes up an insurance policy with you, they can get a dash cam at a discount, or they can do something. But maybe that's something you should, if you're not already doing that, you should think about it, because I've never heard of that before. Yeah. Oh, well, there you go.
We are doing this. Yes, we are doing this across the globe. We are now speaking to several insurance companies in Australia as well. These are still confidential conversations, but for instance, in the UK, with some really big insurance, you get a 10% or 15% discount on your premium if you buy a Nextbase dashcam. So that would mean you put in the serial number into your insurance application. That is cross checked. And then in the calculation, you get a 10% dashcam discount. Obviously the insurance company would want to see your video if something happens, if you put in a claim. But that is something that we're doing in Europe. We're having the first conversations in the US as well. I think first partnership has launched. And like I said, I'm working on a few in Australia right now. So keep your eyes open for that one. I'll let you know as soon as we find one. That would be a great benefit. Yeah,
absolutely. And look, I mean, I've seen at those little $2 shops or the $10 shops, you can buy these really cheap dash cams. But somebody gave me one to have a look at. But there's no connectivity with the app. You've got this sort of suction cap thing which you try and put on, but they can tend to fall off. That is so annoying when that sort of thing happens. So I mean, there's definitely good reason to get a quality dash cam, because it just makes all the difference in terms of reliability, ease of use, and the connectivity to the app. And I'll definitely be setting this up in my car and trying it out. Now, my second last question to you is to ask if you could please share some of the best advice you've received in life to help you get where you are today.
Yeah. So, real quickly on the quality, because there's a real. It was a very good point. There's, I think one of the main components in the dashcam is the G sensor, and this is one of the elements. If you pick up a dashcam, it feels solid. It feels good. I'm not going to talk brands. We're all in the same business. We're all trying to make roads safer, but the G sensor in a dashcam is what makes the dashcam a good dashcam. Being able to store a file whenever you need it. So that will be in an accident or in an incident. That is when a dashcam performs best. Yes, there are differences in the way it's mounted. And yes, the suction cup, it's great to move the dashcam around, but with heat cycles, cooling off and warming up, it falls down. But I think some of the main components are still, and that's what we kind of look at a lot is image quality and the G sense for being able to store that video in the right way. Then on your final question, you asked me this before the day once more as well, and I was thinking about it. I think the main thing is to surround yourself with inspirational people. I think that's the main thing for me, where I look at what's brought me the most, not even getting further in business, but also developing as a person. Just surround yourself with motivated people, skilled people, people who look at you as an equal and trying to find. So at Nextbase, for instance, we've kind of reinvented the dashcam with IQ. And that is all because of a group of very enthusiastic people who are just trying to think of a dashcam in a different way. What can we add to this product? What can we do to make this more than just a recording device, which is a great product, but adding features to it. So yeah, that's my main. If somebody inspires you, stay close to them. That's a great way to learn and to get inspired yourself.
So what is your final message to the viewers and readers?
Well, from obviously from company perspective, protect yourself with a premium dashcam, because it's worth it. Like you can save a lot of cash for whenever you are in an incident and in an accident, and yeah, go out to an RV Norman and find yourself a great deal right now on IQ or Piqo or any of our other dash cams. But yeah, to drive safe and protect yourself and your family. That will be it.
Well, Allard Rustenhoven, Nextbase Head of European and Australian PR and Communications, thank you so much for taking the time to join me. I'm going to look forward to setting this up in my car and playing with the app and connecting it. And I do hope we can talk again in the future. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks so much, Alex. Thanks for having me today, and I'm looking forward to speaking again whenever we bring out something new and innovative. So for now, have a great day, and thanks for having me.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Cool. Bye.